Welcome to part 4 of Phil the Fungi tutorial. So we're going to change our color from red to white. So just complete half of the very last crochet. And then you're going to grab your white yarn and you're just going to pull it through with your crochet hook. So if you didn't catch that, I will put it in slow motion again. So inserting your hook and yarning over, and then stopping at this point in the single crochet. Grab the white yarn and simply pull it through the 2 loops on your hook with your hook. And that's all there is to a color change. You can cut the red yarn and then you can tie the red yarn and the white yarn in a double knot in the back to make sure it doesn't come undone. I'm going to do that after I make the first single crochet. So with the white yarn, make a single crochet in the next available stitch, and then pause and double knot the tails in the back. This is going to ensure that they don't come unraveled. And then mark that stitch. Now we're going to place 5 more single crochets in white. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then we're going to do a decrease. So again, that is a front loop only of the next 2 stitches. So just make sure you're going in the front loop only here. And then we're going to do another 6 single crochets before we do our next decrease. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then decrease. And just keep repeating this pattern all the way around the circle until you get back to the stitch marker. This is going to take us from 48 stitches to 42 stitches. So ending on the last decrease here, you can move on to round 11. So take out your stitch marker and then make your first single crochet of this round and then mark that stitch. Round 11, we are going to be doing 5 single crochets and then a decrease. So then place your decrease after 5 single crochets and then single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, decrease. So just keep repeating that pattern, 5 single crochets and then a decrease until you get back to the stitch marker. We're going to have 36 stitches at the end of this round. So coming up on the last decrease of the round, round 12, you can remove your stitch marker, make your first stitch, and then mark that stitch. And then we're going to be doing 3 more single crochets and then a decrease. So the pattern of this round is 4 single crochet decrease. Just keep repeating that all the way around the circle until you get back to the stitch marker. Coming up on our last decrease here. Round 13 is going to be 3 single crochet decrease. So make your first single crochet and then mark that stitch and then make 2 more single crochets and then a decrease. So single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, and decrease. It's going to take us down to 24 stitches, and just keep repeating this pattern all the way around until you get back to the stitch marker. Coming up on the last decrease here. Round 14 is going to be 2 single crochets and then a decrease. So make your first single crochet and then mark that stitch. And then make 1 more single crochet and then a decrease. So single crochet, decrease. Single crochet, decrease. That's going to bring us down to 18 stitches, so just keep repeating this pattern until you get back to the stitch marker. Coming up on the last decrease of this round. The next round, round 15, is going to be our very last round of the project. So we are doing 1 single crochet and then mark that stitch. And then a decrease in the very next stitch. Single crochet, decrease. So just keep repeating the pattern of single crochet decrease until you get back to the stitch marker. We're going to have 12 single crochets by the end of this round. So we're coming up on the last decrease of this round. Remove your stitch marker and we're going to do another slip stitch to close off the round. So insert your hook into the next available stitch. Yarn over and immediately pull through all the loops on your hook. And then leave a tail about 12 inches long to sew the cap onto the head of the mushroom. And you can squish it down and you can see your little mushroom cap. Grab your yarn needle and thread it onto the tail of the cap. And now what is important here is making sure that color change is facing the back of the mushroom. So make sure that you start sewing on the other side of the mushroom face so that the color change is facing the back. We're going to be sewing the mushroom cap onto that little ridge that we had on the body where we did the back loop only crochets. So you can see if you look really close, there should be a little ridge near the very top of the body. That's exactly where we're going to be sewing on the cap. If you don't have these, don't worry, you can still sew the cap on. The ridges just make it easier to sew it on. But if somehow you messed up, don't sweat it, we can still sew it on. So all we're going to be doing is putting our yarn needle in one stitch of the cap and then in one of those little ridge stitches on the body. Again, if you somehow don't have the ridges, just sew it onto a stitch on the body. And then just all the way around, you should have 12 ridges and 12 single crochets left in the cap. So just place a whip stitch, super simple, in every single stitch on the cap and the body all the way around the mushroom. Make sure you're pulling tight after every stitch to make sure that it's nice and secure. And coming up on the last stitches here, I'm just gonna do like a little crossover and make sure that there's no hole and that it's really secure. And then you can go ahead and weave in your end. So just poke the needle in and out of different stitches in the body, making sure that the end isn't gonna come undone. Then you can cut the tail off. And there you have it, your mushroom is done. Some optional steps are to do a mouth and embroider little spots on the cap. So if you want to add those onto your mushroom, just stay tuned. So for the mouth, take the piece of black yarn that's in your yarning box kit and thread it through your yarn needle. You're going to pick 2 holes that are in between the eyes to embroider the mouth. I like to do either just below the eyes like that or actually just right in the middle of the 2 eyes. You can kind of pick and choose where you want the mouth to be. I'm going to go a little bit higher and do right in between the eyes like this, and just pull the black thread through, and then you're just going to stick your yarn needle through the exact same hole that you started in. So make sure you're happy with how the mouth is going to look, and then poke your needle back into the hole. And that's it. That's all there is to it, to the little mouth. So to just finish it off, you can trim the black pieces coming out of the back, take the needle off, and then thread the other 2 tails with your needle. And just stick them back into the hole where they're coming out of, and have them poke out the exact same hole that the other tails are coming out of. It's really important that they're all coming out of the same hole, because we're going to tie them in a double knot, and you don't want them to be showing. So then just double knot these tails. And then you can trim them, and then just poke them back into the body with the point of your scissors. Just like so. There you have it. There's your little mouth on your little mushroom. If you want to add some spots, just thread a white piece of yarn with your needle, and the same situation as the mouth, we're just embroidering little lines in the cap just like this. I like to make the lines about 1 or 2 stitches long, and I just poke them randomly throughout the cap. You can get creative with how they look. I do about 11 or 12 little spots on the cap. And then once you have enough spots that you like, just have the tail piece come out of the exact same hole of the starting point. So thread the first tail that you have and have it meet the end, coming out of the exact same hole. And then you're just gonna double knot it. Be careful not to tie it too tight or else the whole cap is kind of gonna go funny and shrink on you. So just double knot the ends, make sure they're secure, but don't tie it too tight. And then you can trim the ends and poke them back into the mushroom cap. There you have it. Your Phil the Fungi is all finished. Thank you guys so much for watching this tutorial. Please tag me on Instagram, your Phil the Fungi creations at YarnyBox. I will also leave it linked down below. I would absolutely love to see your little fills. See you in the next tutorial. Bye.